assets pre-divorce, during the divorce, after the divorce. You need to know about life insurance. That's right. Especially during a divorce. It's an asset. And if you got kids, it's very important. People underestimate how important life insurance is. I got life insurance when my kids were born. And then I upped it after I became single in the 80s. I had a business, I had alimony, I had child support, and I was supporting the kids basically 100%. If something happened to me, my ex-wife didn't have an income except me, the breadwinner. So let me talk to you about life insurance. I've had life insurance policies for many years. I've had an estate and a will and a trust since I became single. I didn't have one when I was married, I don't believe. I don't recall that. If I did, it was a very simple will at the time. It gets more sophisticated as you become a single parent, as you have children, and you do have an estate and you have assets. It's something that you need to address. I wanted to talk to you about some of the mistakes I made and some of the tips that you should have. Consider it during your divorce. And even if you're divorced or not divorced, the consideration of purchasing life insurance. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the year 2017, I was going through some transitions in my life, my age, and my health and all this other stuff. I was married at the time, and I had multiple life insurances, including term and so on. But I really didn't understand it. I just thought, when I die, the insurance will take care of any outstanding debt, and the kids would receive the rest. That's how I looked at it. Even though I was married, she was going to get a portion of the trust at the time. So I happened to be at church, Catholic church, and a Knights of Columbus insurance sales agent got up at the pulpit, which they always do every year. And I was struggling with my faith. I was getting older and realizing that my business was limited. My mortality was in question, and I wanted to leave financial benefits to my grandchildren, my children, and I have a foundation, including my wife at the time. And I had life insurance on her independently and so on. I really wasn't that educated on term insurance, universal insurance, and so on. So what I did was I got involved with the Knights of Columbus as a knight, as they say. I went through that process. And I really thought about what the Knights may be really good for the foundation, might be good for special needs, wheelchairs and all this. And then I started realizing this is worse than a fraternity, man. It's all secret and all. It's all bullshit. These people are, it's sad because its average age is probably 80. And they're trying to recruit the 18-year-olds, the young kids and stuff. Why? Because of money. Because of money. The membership is nothing. And the foundation and their goals and their objectives and so on, we're fucking sad. These people don't, by the way, they don't have money. These people are kind of last resort. They don't have money. They think it's all a mission to do the right thing. I don't believe in that. That's my opinion. So at the time, though, I said, what's the best way I can support this organization? Oh, Rock, Knights of Columbus Insurance. It's a hell of a deal, and it shows support. And by the way, it's only for Catholics. I was like, I bought in because it was all about the Catholic Church. So anyway, why I'm talking about this is because at the end of the day, I emotionally got involved. Like with a woman, I got emotionally involved. And I liked the agent. We talked sports. He was from the Midwest. Bottom line is, I applied. I purchased a policy. They sent it to me. I paid the down payment. And I think it was around $7,000 towards, that's just a quarterly payment. Did you hear what I just said? 7,000 times 4 per year. And it was a $400,000 or $500,000 policy. Universal. They say it was universal. After I received the paperwork, I thought, no problem. I'll send in the down payment. I think the down payment was $4 or $5,000. And that is a lot of money. But I was going to replace a term insurance that I had for almost 20 years. Okay, it was going to end, so I thought I'll do a universal policy for my family. Within 3 days, I realized I made a mistake. I sent it to my existing brokers, and every one of them were down on the Knights, as if the Knights of Columbus Insurance was not even a real insurance company. I'm like, what? They said, Rock, let us bid on this. And they came back with legitimate big companies that are A++, whatever the ratings are. Moody's, I got some notes here. Moody's, AM Best, all that other stuff. Knights of Columbus isn't even rated, okay? And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Rock, did you sign the agreement? Yeah, but I got a grace period. So they said, okay, Rock, here's what we got. To replace the Knights, cancel the Knights of Columbus. And I said, can you help me do this? No, we can't help you. You got to go through the agent and their broker. So I did. And I got a rejection that, no, you're not getting a refund. No, you missed the grace period. And by the way, the agent I was talking to, he was in Ireland on a golf tournament for the Knights of Columbus for being one of the best sales guys. No shit. And I contacted him and said, listen, we got to do something. Rock, every day you walk away, you're going to reduce. So they offered me like $700 to go away. I says, no fucking way. No way, man. I want a full refund. What's the problem? So anyway, I got the emails that basically said, no, you got to talk to my broker. This guy wasn't even a broker. He was a independent contractor, because they don't have, at that time, my understanding is they weren't employees, and they got in trouble for that. Knights of Columbus. You can Google that. They've had a lot of accusations and lawsuits and so on. Okay. Knights of Columbus Insurance. Okay. I went on YouTube to see if there was any issues about Knights of Columbus. I'm the only one that basically bitches about them. And that's how I got this email comment from this guy that opened up my mind going, oh my God. But how does it relate? It relates to my divorce, my second divorce. They have insurances. That's all discussed. Who's got them? Who doesn't have them? I got long-term care and all that. My ex-wife, I got policies for her at my cost. And that's the other problem. I ended up buying those on her behalf. And guess what happened? I had to pay alimony that includes if she could choose or not choose those policies. Do you think she kept those policies? I don't think so. She kept the money. The premiums, forget about it. See what I'm saying? Where am I going with this? There's a clause in the MSA, and it's probably standard. It's called payment on death. POD, the POD clause. That means if you passed away as the breadwinner and paying alimony or child support, they are covered through your trust and through your assets. Dead or alive, they're going to get paid. You can't get away with it. And don't go blowing your heads off, man. It's not worth it. Okay, you're going to get through this. So I got some tips for you on picking the insurance and not picking the insurance during the divorce, after the divorce, and so on. The best thing to do is don't get insurance while you're married. Get it later when you want to cover your kids or cover your assets. Okay, I got to turn the light on. It's getting darker. Okay. Here's what you need to know if you're considering life insurance, especially during a divorce. Don't buy based on emotion. Buy based on facts. And that's what I did. My mistake was I should have went out and got multiple opportunities, talked to a real broker that represents multiple high-end insurance companies. You got to be really careful on the ratings. Don't go to your local sales guy, your neighbor, your brother. No. Go to a professional, and it's got the backing behind them. Big names. You got to go to big names, okay? Yeah, you might pay a premium, but at least they're going to pull through for you. Always check the company's rating. That's what we talked about. Don't trust a single salesperson like me, because I like the guy. And I'm a sales guy, so guess what? I like sales guys. And here's the thing about sales. They're the easiest people to sell. Me. I'm an easy guy to sell. But now, I work on the 3 T's. Do I trust them? Are they transparent? And do they work on my timeline? Because I'm the client. But at the end of the day, once they get their money, they're gone, man. And you don't know what's going to happen. That's why you have to document everything. Have these policies. These policies are important. Besides a copy, always scan them and keep them in your files and make sure your kids or your personal representative, your executor, has got this information. Always ask for documentation and get a second opinion. I say get 3 to 4 opinions. Update your beneficiaries after or during the divorce immediately. That's what I did. I had everything changed prior because she couldn't touch anything. I worked with my bankers. I worked with my estate planner. We had everything taken care of, okay? Because she wasn't on these policies anyway. It's not legal. It's my will. It's my estate. And it's just like it would be for you. Review how your policy ties into alimony, trust, or estates. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay? Now that I've paid in full and I've beat the system by not dying, payment on death, no longer, I have to motion the court to make sure I get what they call a satisfaction declaration of some sort. But I got to go through the court for that. Okay? You could say pro se, but you know what? I'm learning you can't get through shit. And you know what? They're not going to listen to pro se people like me. Okay? Know the difference between church affiliation and corporate structure. All right, now, if your ex insists on keeping the Knights of Columbus policy, give it to her. Give it to, no matter how much. That's one of the assets. So let's say it's worth 20 grand. Okay? 20 grand? Give it to her. And you get the 20 grand. That's what you're going to trade for. You want to compromise? Compromise. Let them have it. Okay? Then you go out and get a real life insurance policy to protect you and your children and your beneficiaries. Okay? You may never see the payout, and your heirs might get stuck in the mess they didn't create. This is why I'm so lucky to have a business background. I realize today everything is a transaction. Your mortgage, your beneficiaries, life insurance, your banking, your commingling, everything. You're better off to do everything single. She's got a job, you got a job. Keep it separate, man. If you want to combine it, it's your problem. Okay? Yeah, there's love in the air, but when it comes down to money and marriage, it's a fucking business, man. Okay? This is more than a financial mistake on my part. It was a lesson in blind trust. And for me, that trust ended at the bank. As soon as the bankers told me, Rock, you got to be careful, man. We're not going to badmouth them. You check them out yourself. I actually went to the Florida, there's some type of insurance committee. They wrote a letter. Knights of Columbus attorney sent me a letter. It's all bullshit. They just didn't want to pay. I sent what they call a demand letter. They probably threw it in the trash. They don't respond to people like me that are saying, hey, I'm questioning this. Just to give you a heads up, the agent, is no longer part of our church. What happened? What happened? Is the broker even... I'm not going to follow these guys. I realize they're not legitimate. And for this guy to respond to my YouTube, I went, great! Another opportunity to help my people, my audience, figure out, be careful on life insurance. Life insurance is an asset, man. It's an asset. And you have a choice to keep it or not. Like in her case, here, you want your policy? You keep it. Even though I paid for it maybe 10 years, she can continue on with it, or it's going to lapse. And that's probably going to lapse. Or she's going to get it for her parents or her next boyfriend. SugarDaddy.com. If you're listening, take this seriously, man. It's another step for you to understand you have assets. Don't underestimate. Everything that you have in combined names is a problem. It's a marital asset. They're going to cut it in half. 50-50. I've been told years ago in my first marriage by my buddies at Harvard Business School, most of them 80-90% divorced before I was. It was like a badge of honor. Hey, Rock, no problem. Give them everything of that underappreciates or doesn't appreciate. You keep your retirement, you keep your cash, you keep whatever you can keep. That's the goal. When it comes to protecting your kids, your estate, and your future, you can't afford to be wrong. Thanks for listening. Every day is something new when it comes down to understanding what I went through. Married 24 years, alimony 22 years, supporting women fucking 40 years. Unbelievable. Somebody asked me if I was so smart, why don't you give us examples, Rock? Why is it always my stupidity? I had to learn all this shit. I'm at the point where I could communicate to you. And that's why I appreciate you listening to me. People say, Rock, your blood pressure, why are you bitter? Why are you angry? I'm not angry. I'm just trying to get it off my chest to say, here, take it. Protect yourself. You can trust your spouse over 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. How hard is it? Wait till I start getting into owning a business while going through a divorce like I have. I'm not even there yet. I got so much stuff to talk about. I've just started. I got almost 800 videos. Most of them are in the past few months. I just started this YouTube seriously over the last, I think it's September. And I want to thank everybody for listening to me. Very few people criticize what I'm doing because they know it's tough shit out there, man. You could either like me, dislike me. Bottom line, I'm giving you tips, man, to take care of yourself. And in the back of your mind, you never know what's happening. One thing I would say when I first got divorced the first time, I was like, I didn't see it coming. That's the worst time to be. I was in denial. I should have never got married the first time. And why? We were fighting all the time. I was still in the lust phase. It was lust. Then I was successful. I was confident. Says, hey, now's the time to start a family. I was only 22. Come on. My buddies were all partying and shit. And here I had a kid the next year, a son. I had to protect myself, man. I knew people that were going through divorce, but I didn't listen because that's not going to happen to me. Huh. And I was told, Rock, she got you at your high. Yeah, she did at the time, but guess what? I pulled through. I stuck in there. I started living life intentionally. I started thinking and focusing on the kids and their lives. So this is enough for insurance. It's an asset. You can walk away from an asset during or after marriage. get your own policy. Think about that. But before you do it, go to a legitimate agent, insurance agent, just like you do for a car. Always know the fine print. Know that shit. I'm not an expert at it. I go to the experts and ask the question, am I covered? You are, Rock, if you have an umbrella policy. Okay. What does an umbrella policy do for me? And you do it. Okay? How about your home? Fire insurance, theft insurance, somebody falls. And insurance is expensive. Yeah, everybody knows that. You can't get away with it. How about medical? Some people work just to say they got medical. They hate their job, but they got medical. So I hope it's useful. And I want the word to get out about the Knights of Columbus insurance. What's going on. All their lawsuits and all the shit that's going on behind the scenes with their employees. They've had massive arbitration losses. There's a reason for it. Their own agents suing them, their employees suing them, and their executives are getting millions for compensation. What the fuck is that about? In the Catholic Church, they won't help you. That's a bank for them. Just like Catholic Charities and Doge, what they're going through. Why do you think the United States bishops are suing the United States? Word is, the new pope's from the United States, and he's got a math background. He doesn't have a theology background. You know what math is? It's finance. Why did they go with American? They want to solve, they want to compromise. They want to compromise with President Trump and Doge. It's going to take years. Years. United States comes first, not the Vatican. So I'm going to leave you with this. I hope it was useful. There's going to be more. I'm looking into getting that declaration for the payment on death so it's recorded with the court and with my estate planner. That's right. You can't trust these people, man. They'll come after everything. After my kids, after a divorce. I wouldn't trust neither one of them and their families. I walk away with strong confidence that I did the right thing. It's called integrity. So I'll talk to you soon. God bless everybody. Talk to you soon.